forgive the yard music. I, all my birds, they once they hear me out here and doing stuff, then everybody has to say hello. And so, you know, I guess we got music from the fauna out here. So you want to see how we can build a garden planter with just a fence picket, just a cheap fence picket from the hardware store. I build a lot of stuff with fence pickets. I find out that they really work well for a lot of things. Cedar is a wood that is resistant to outdoors and can last a long time, and so that's one reason I use it. But the other reason really is it's cheap. You know, for this planter box that we're going to build, you can use anything you can find, really. You know, what about pine? People say you can do it out of pine with the dirt contact and stuff from being a planter box. It's probably not going to last too long. You know, it decays a lot quicker than the cedar will. We'll show how it's done. You can do it pretty simple. Anybody can pretty much do a project like this. So the first thing we want to do is cut our board. It looks like we need 3 pieces, 19 and 7/8. The reason we went with that 7/8 is it looks like dimensionally we can't quite get 20, but by just cutting off an 1/8 we'll be able to make that happen. Okay, here we go. Make sure and hold it down good and tight. Make sure you're against the fence. What do you guys want? What are you doing? Huh? I don't need you guys underfoot. Go do something. Make some use out of yourselves. You know, one thing is, you might ask, where can I work on a project? I don't have room in it, but it's you just make room wherever you can. I'm out here in the chicken yard workshop. I just got a simple little table, a flat space to work off of. You know, anything's gonna work out for you. Whatever you can find is what you need. So let's get with it. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is we want to drill a series of holes along the side of our board. And is what we'll start doing here is we'll just take and we want to be about 1 inch in from the edge. A lot of times that can make wood split. If you get too close out here on the edge, then your wood will want to split. So if you come back just a little bit, it can prevent a lot of that. So just about 1 inch down, we're going to mark it at 1/4 inch. And somewhere in the middle, we're not making a damn art project, so we don't need to be exact. Of course, if you want it really nice, something for in the house, then you'd measure it this way and this way and get it all perfect. I know there's a lot of different ways to make something like this, and a lot of tools that'll help you do it better and faster, but we're trying to show how it can be done really quite simply. So now I got my drill. You know, I got to have it overhang just a little bit here, and we're just gonna drill us a pilot hole. And that's really all we need to do at this stage. This will help guide us when we go to put it together. So now we got this, we got our pieces cut and we've got them drilled, and we've got a piece that's going to be our base. So we'll put that down like that. One little trick here to make it easier to put together is I can use my other side to hold it. And so now I'm pushing straight down on the project, and that's gonna make it a lot easier. Now I like to use glue Make sure, I always just get the exterior grades of glue. You know, I don't know if I'm going to be doing inside or outside, but the exterior glue will work best for both situations. Now, if you're a glue hater, then okay, I don't care, don't use glue. Okay, back to the project. So it's usually best if you do glue, put glue on both sides. And you know, it's best to kind of spread that glue out if you can. You know, you can use your finger or whatever. I just found a stick, but I can spread that glue out. Okay, and I want to put it on the other side of my board too. Just kind of, you know, where I've got my pre-drilled holes, that's just where I want to have like a thin bead. Kind of about that area all the way along the board. And I get my nice primitive glue stick. I'm sure this is how the, you know, the caveman or Neanderthal spread their glue. Okay, now here we're ready to put it together. Got it stacked. Once again, using my other side for my support. Making sure my ends are lined up. And we're actually gonna drill into that other board just a little bit. A lot of times if I would have just tried to drive my screw straight away into that, my boards would have slipped, especially since they've got a little bit of glue on them. You know, and that drilling into the other one's gonna help me a little bit there. So we got that. And we'll move to the other end, because at this point I can still shift this around quite a lot, you know, and I want to be flat along here. So we'll move to the other end, do our little drill. We'll drill that hole while we're at it too. Seems like it's holding together pretty good and not slipping around much. So then I'll come down here and we will put in our screw. You can see the glue squeezing out. Means we got good glue coverage. And then, so is what you want to do is wipe that glue off while it's still wet. And it's better if you got a wet rag. And you gotta get it off pretty good if you're planning on putting a paint or stain. I'm just gonna leave these natural. So just wiping that down is about all I need. So then we flip it over and we do the exact same thing for this side. Now we want to take our end board, and the reason I didn't cut it at the same time as the other is because in these fence boards there's some variability, and not all of them are the same thickness or width. And since we're using a single board, it'll all work out. But I needed to know the exact measurement here. This is going to vary from fence board to fence board in this box makeup. So now we're going to go cut that board, and then we'll get the rest of it put together. Okay, so we've got our board cut, and we're going to it'll just go in the end here like that. And is what we're going to do is we're going to mark where we want to put our screws in this. I think probably 2 on each side and 1 in the bottom is going to work out great for this project. So again, you just come in. Now you got to remember, there's your bottom. When we put this board in here, there's the end of our board. So we got to make sure we're back, right around here or so, 1.5 inches at least an inch down this way, probably just a touch more. Then we just mark that 1/4 inch again. And we'll do the same up near the top. We can be a little bit closer to the edge on this because that's our board, but you just be mindful that that there's the edge. The closer you are to this edge, the closer you are to this edge is a better chance of splitting. So don't be scared to hold back down just a little bit. So pre-drill them. Flip it over, do the same on all the sides. So now we've put glue all the way around, using our primitive man glue tool, all the way around the end board, and we're just going to press it in there. Might have to spread just a little bit. Try and get this out, all your edges are even all the way around. We can still adjust till we get 2 screws. So that's pretty good right there. So now we'll do our pre-drill. And we'll get a screw in it. Now what I want to do is I'm actually going to flip it over to the opposite side. You can see this side can still move quite a bit. Once we get that in, we're not going to be moving out. And I'm going directly over to the bottom. Not too tight. You don't want to split it and out and stuff. It's not really necessary. And we're just gonna continue. Now you can see we've got a pretty good gap here, and this screw will pull it down. I want to try and push down, make sure I'm flush, and then we're gonna pre-drill our hole here. And that, we just need to be in enough to where it's gonna kind of guide us, so we don't split that board out and tear out a side or something like that. See, suck down nice and tight. And we'll just flip it over, do the same on this side now. We'd already got the screw there. Now we just need a screw in this end. Go ahead and pre-drill. And get your screw in. Quit fighting. Man. Birds. And really, that's all there was to it. You know, it's a pretty nice looking little box. We're gonna take and drill some drainage holes in the bottom. Probably just 3 with a 1/2 inch bit. But you could use this on your kitchen table or as a shelf. And if you look on the chicken coop behind me, the boxes under the window were built this exact same way. So the last thing we're going to do is we're going to drill some drainage holes in the bottom of our box. If you're using it for something inside or as a tote thing or something, then you probably don't need to do that. You don't need to get super perfect. I'm just going to come in like 2 inches, and since it was 20 inches long, we'll go 10, and we'll come back in this way 2 inches. You know, it's just drainage holes. Now you want to be careful when you punch through because it's going to tear out the wood on the opposite side. I think I'm gonna have my tear out on the inside of this box, so that's why I'm drilling from the bottom. Really, it's this easy. It's simple. You know, that's all I'm gonna need. That's all there is to it. Have a nice little box, nice planter box. This is all the scrap we had left from that single fence picket, and that's not a lot of scrap. I really don't have much use for a piece like that, but it'll end up in the fire pit. You got your little 4-inch nursery containers. If you don't want a plant in it, you can actually just set them down inside of it. You don't even really see it. Have your plants, you can put several of them in there and not even actually put plant in that, but you'd have a nice looking box for them to be in. You know, another thing to consider is if you have a little bit more wood, or you've made this a shorter dimension, then you can have your end pieces longer so they could stick up here, and you could put a handle on it and it would be more like a basket or something. You know, hopefully you found my video instructive and it's something you might want to learn. You know, it's all about building skills on new things, and a simple box like this can be a good way to get started building skills. Myself, I'm working on the technology type stuff. Hell, I can barely get the cell phone to turn on half the time. So I'm learning to make these videos, and they're gonna get better. If you'd just be so kind and maybe hit something, them buttons down there, leave me some comments, you know, some things you'd like to see built, and you know, that'll give me some good ideas, and then we can inspire each other. Thank you. Way up there. Yeah, of course. Probably pretty safe from predators up there. Well, good night.